welcome in to Tom's Corner. I'm Brian Hawkins. And Tom, last week we had a good time. You were talking about some of the bike riding adventures that you've experienced, and I'm just wondering, any more stories about living with low vision?
Living with low vision is kind of an unusual thing. And, of course, as people know, I've had vision loss since my early 20s, and the big thing was having to stop driving. That was a huge change in my life in my mid-20s. And, of course, then it meant getting around, so I moved from the suburbs into the city and had to learn how to ride the buses and the trains, and that was it was actually very frightening at first until I get used to it, and now, of course, it's second nature. But there's so many things that happen when you have a central vision loss like I do, or any kind of a vision loss where I don't normally walk around with my glasses on because they don't help too much, but sometimes I'll have my glasses on, or I have lots of friends now who have low vision. And, you get these weird things happen where you go to talk. We were going out with a couple one time for dinner. And they escorted us into one of those restaurants where you go down 2 steps and then you go across the floor, then you go up 1 step and then you go across the floor,
right.
And then you go down 2 more. And I thought, if we ever get to our table and my friend Bob and I don't trip, it'll be a miracle. So we finally get to the table, and our wives are sitting there, and they're wiping the table off, so we have to sort of wait to the side. And Bob and I are standing there talking, and right behind us is a big glass case with a lot of green plants in it. And so he's looking in there, and I thought, well, I wonder what he's looking at. So then I'm looking in there, and the woman who was wiping off the table, she goes, "Hey, what are you guys looking at?" And we said, "Oh, we're looking at the terrarium." She goes, "That's not the terrarium, that's the back of the salad bar." So that was just unbelievable start to the evening. And then she came to the table one time, and we saw us with our menus like up to our nose. And she had her reading glasses around her neck on a little chain. And she looked at me, she says, "Here, try these." I was like, "Oh, reading glasses. Oh, I never thought of it. I should go to an optometrist. Maybe they would have some for me." And kind of zing her back a little bit,
Right.
I try not to do that too much, but try to be a good sport. But a lot of things can happen when you go to dinner and you have low vision. That's for sure. So that was pretty wild. The most embarrassing thing, I remember we went to a Christmas dinner with people from her work, and she had a bright red dress on, and we were at this fancy hotel where you're standing in the lobby, and then they had one of those spiral staircases where you could see the second floor, and the men's and women's room was right up the top of the stairs, so we both went up the stairs. And then when I finished, I just, came down the stairway, and I'm standing in the lobby, and we're all dressed to the nines, and I'm looking around, and you're just smiling at people. And I look up where the restroom was. Here's my wife, what I thought was my wife, with her red dress on, looking down over the railing. So I'm waving to her, "Hi, nice to see you," and everything. And so I kept smiling at her, and I waved again, and she didn't move. I thought she was going to come down the stairs. And suddenly, to my left, my wife goes, "What are you doing?" So obviously there was another woman in a bright red dress that I was waving to.
You were flirting with. You thought it was. Did she respond, the woman above you?
I don't know what she did, actually, because I couldn't see that far. But as soon as my wife walked up, she probably thought, that guy's in trouble. But at the end, I made it through the whole dinner, and all these professionals were there. And I thought, this is, there was these clear glass things that could have fallen. Nothing fell, nothing did. We made it all the way through dinner. They served a little dessert, and then they had a little coffee. So I reach over and I see the the sugar bowl, and I figured I'm going to, get it. So I grabbed the little decorative sugar bowl, and they're also passing the creamer around. I put a little cream in there, and as I pick up the sugar bowl, I get my spoon in there, and I feel something hard. I couldn't figure out what it was, and one of Diane's colleagues yells across the table, "Hey, Tom, do you always put wax in your coffee?" It was the candle from the table.
And your response was?
And everybody was like, "That's a good one." It was pretty embarrassing. So I almost made it through that entire dinner with the candle. But those are some of the things that happen when you live with a vision impairment.
Roadshows,
Roadshows, yeah. March 16th, we're going to be at the Maine Township offices on Ballard Road in Park Ridge. And that'll be Wednesday from 10 o'clock to 3 in the afternoon. It's open house. It's free to the public. Come and hear some more of my stories and see many, many products that are out there. We have all the latest and greatest ones from all kinds of manufacturers, everything from talking clocks and talking watches to the latest video magnifiers. And just meet some of our staff and learn about what might be out there to help you. Also, March 31st, we're doing a show in the Wheeling Township office, which is on 1616 North Arlington Heights Road in Arlington Heights. And again, we'll be there from 10 to 3. So these are sponsored by the Lions Clubs of Illinois. And we do sell items right there at the show, but we also educate and just help people to learn what's out there to help you. So you or a family member has experienced low vision, please find out about us. We do have products for the totally blind also, but our road shows are more centered around low vision products. But you can inquire, you can call us. Our store is at 1-800-919-3375. 1-800-919-3375, and we can research things for you if you feel like you need something that you don't know where to get it. We can find it for you. So,
all right.
Yeah.
That's great stuff. Well, I'm Brian Hawkins, and this is, of course, Tom Persky. Great stories, by the way, and we'll be talking about more of Tom's stories in the weeks to come. This is The Beacon.